Hey everyone, I'm the Innerwell Customs, and today we're going to be looking at 4 custom painted LEGO zombies that I made for this Halloween. Before we start, make sure you guys like and subscribe, as it's the best way to help out new creators like me. Thanks! I absolutely love LEGO zombies, whether it's these ones from the collectible minifigure series, or the ones from Monster Fighters, or even this zombie Captain America that they made last year. They always end up being some of my favorite LEGO minifigures. But as a customizer, I can't help but wonder what if they were made in the 1980s, or better yet, what if they were made modern, gory, and disgusting. So I set out to do that. Starting off, I made 2 custom heads to represent the classic zombies. Classic is a term that a lot of customizers use to talk about really any minifigure before the early 2000s. So for this first one, I used a classic LEGO smiley face, except I turned the smile into a frown, and then had this open section on the right side, of course based on the LEGO skull, and I added just a few drops of bright red blood to the mouth. Beyond that, I put him in some classic 80s LEGO streetwear, a bright red shirt, and some blue pants. Moving on from him and on to the second classic zombie, this one I based more along the lines of the classic LEGO Pirates theme. For this one I wanted to make him shirtless, giving him an all yellow torso and red pants, and to go along with the pants I gave him one of these red bandana pieces. This one's head was based on one of those classic mustache heads, but again with the smile turned into a frown, and the skull peeking through on the left, with some blood to top it off. I think these two look great together, and honestly I think the heads can be used for just about any classic theme that you guys like, such as the Forest Man that I have back here. I also threw these heads on a few other figures like this Spaceman for some sci-fi horror. Or maybe you prefer Red Dead Redemption's Undead Nightmare, where I put the mustache face on one of these classic cowboys. I even tossed it on a Boba Fett torso here, as I think it works pretty well for any of these 1999 Star Wars figures. But now it's time to move on from these simple classic figures to some much more detailed, fully custom zombies. To start off, we'll take a look at the one on the left. This guy was actually made with mostly official parts that I modified, which is not something I usually do as a LEGO customizer, but works pretty good with these zombies. For this one I painted the overalls to go all around the torso instead of the printing stopping at the front and back, and I found an appropriate pair of legs to throw some boots on. The head was inspired by the zombie heads from Monster Fighters with the yellow eyes, and I drilled a hole straight through it to mimic a gunshot, with plenty of blood and gore on the head and all around the figure, including on the arm where I've painted on a bite mark. Moving on from this guy and onto my last zombie of the video. This one was actually a bit more work than the last, with a fully painted torso to represent a torn up tank top, as well as some sculpting of gore on the head. Much like the last one, I put a healthy, or rather unhealthy, amount of blood throughout the figure, and even chopped a chunk of his leg off and replaced it with a skeletal one, with the pants painted to appear torn. The face was once again inspired by Monster Fighters with those yellow eyes, but done in a bit more of a detailed style to fit my personal taste. I'm super happy with how both of these guys came out, and I think that they fit really nicely alongside my collection of customized zombies that I've been collecting over a few years. Lastly, if you guys are still watching the video, let me know in the comments below, do you prefer the classic style zombie or the fully painted custom ones? Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, go check out my Instagram at the Innerwell Customs, or subscribe to see more videos from me. Have a spooky Halloween. I'll see you guys in the next one.